Hey, good afternoon, folks. Guy here, live and on location for Speaking of Zane. I'm here at the Georgia National Cemetery. Sunday afternoon, just an absolutely beautiful day in North Georgia. Even though it's 90 degrees out, it's a dry day, a real welcomed dry day, no humidity, 90 degrees, just absolutely beautiful, wonderful breeze blowing through the foothills up here in Canton, Georgia. Just an awesome day to be out, and I couldn't think of a better place to come this afternoon, considering everything that's been going on and the fact that we've got 13 brand new Gold Star families that whose lives have been changed forever. And hadn't been out here to see Zane in a week and a half, 2 weeks, so it was time for me to come visit anyway. But it seems fitting to come out here in the solitude and just be thankful and grateful for men and women that are willing to step up and put themselves in harm's way. And we see what that has the potential to result in from the incident that occurred on Thursday. And those men and women will be interred at a facility much like this somewhere across the country. Maybe some at Arlington, maybe some at a national cemetery somewhere near their hometown, maybe some at a state veteran cemetery close to where their families live, maybe some in a city or close a church cemetery, nearby relatives. But they'll be laid to rest in a solemn place like this, no doubt. Just absolutely beautiful here today. Good bit of activity, folks coming out on Sunday visiting the fallen. Good to see. I had a nice little chat with a Cherokee County Sheriff's deputy here just a minute ago. He was on his afternoon patrol and decided to come through the cemetery, and have seen a few other folks come through. I'm sitting here at the let's see if you can see the building here. Well, if you can see the building there, this is sort of the I won't call it the visitation center, but it's not the administrative center, but it's the main rallying point for the funerals. And I'll never forget coming here. When we brought Zane here for his funeral, was the first time I've ever been here, and just at a very unknown, circumstances, didn't know what to do, where to go, and the guys were really good here and guided me to everything that needed to be done. And in that building over there is where we assembled, and then over here all of the cars and everything assembled. So I'm just sitting here. There's a nice set of benches here that relatively new, year and a half old, that give you a great view to our Carillon, they call it, the tribute tower, which is relatively new. It was erected last year. But interesting, I pulled up and said, well, I'm going to sit outside for a little bit. It's so nice. Sat down on the bench, and what began playing on the bells but the Marine Corps hymn. It was very fitting. I did capture that on video. I'll either splice it in here or post it as a separate video. But just a beautiful view here from the benches, and you can see the tribute tower there with the bells, and several times during the day it'll play for 5 or 10 minutes, all of the hymns of the branches of the service, and the national anthem, and just a variety of tunes, patriotic tunes. Look beyond the carillon there sits in the traffic circle. There's a little roundabout right there. I don't know if you can see, but just beyond the well, not just, but beyond the roundabout there, you could see a road goes on past where that car just came from, and you can see through the trees there headstones, and that's the first section that way that's populated in section 11 where Zane is. So I can see his section from here as I look out over the Carillon, the Tribute Tower, and enjoy the afternoon. Just absolutely beautiful. I hadn't been able to sit outside like this in quite some time. It's been so humid. We've had a lot of rain, and sometimes it's unbearable just to come outside. But today it's dry and sunny. I'd imagine that'll be changing because we've got Hurricane Ida that's coming up through New Orleans. And I know the remnants of that are supposed to make their way up here into Tennessee and northwest Georgia. So we'll see what the impact there is. I'm sure there'll be some more humid air coming as a result of that. But anyway, couldn't think of a better place to come and spend a little time today. Well, actually, that's not true. I can certainly think of a lot of places I'd rather be. I'd rather be at a baseball game. Honestly, I'd rather be at the Braves game with Zane than be out here at the cemetery with him. That's for sure. But considering the circumstances, I can't think of any place I'd rather be. I've often said over the last 5.5 years that this is my favorite place to visit and my least favorite place to visit all at the same time, and that'll make your head spin to think about that. But that's kind of what it feels like. I always feel honored to come out here because every person that is buried here, they didn't all die for their country, but they all lived for their country. Everyone buried here was willing to. Everyone buried here gave a portion of their life in service to the country. They said, okay, Uncle Sam, I'm yours for 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 25, 30 years. And so everybody here gave. What was the old Billy Ray Cyrus song? All gave some gave all, and that's certainly true. And we have some buried out here that gave all. But everybody out here gave some, that's for sure. It's hallowed ground. If you've never been to a national cemetery or a veteran cemetery, and we have several of them here in the state of Georgia, you owe yourself to go visit. I tell you, you'll be humbled, you'll be blessed to go and visit. Hear how quiet it is? You can't even hear anything. It's just absolutely beautiful. But it's special. These places are special. I tell you, I have visited quite a number of them by now. They all have a lot of things in common, but they're also different. That's one of the beauties is they have the characteristics of where they're located. Obviously, geographical features and topology and all of that. I mean, the national cemeteries in Florida are so much different than the ones in Colorado or Nebraska or even Georgia. And our little group, Speaking of Zane, we visited almost 150 different veteran cemeteries across the country, and I tell you, every one of them is different. And if you've never visited a veteran cemetery, a national cemetery, I'd challenge you to do so. And I'll not only challenge you to do so, but report back to me and let me know what you felt. Let me know what you felt. Okay, well, I'm going to run over there and spend a few minutes with Zane. First time I've been out here to see him since the activities that have been going on in Afghanistan. I tell you, a few years ago when things started to get so messed up in Iraq, you had the same feelings. What did these guys die for? What did they even serve for over there when we just gave it all up, and I struggled then. What would I tell him? What would I tell his kids? What would I tell his kids? What did he go fight for? Age-old question, I know, with war. Age-old questions, nothing new for us here, for sure. But yeah, I'm going to run over and spend some time with him. I mean, what you think about, friends like Kelly Kowal and her son Corey that was killed in Afghanistan, and our family friend John Burris, his son Michael Burris, was killed in Afghanistan. What do you tell these families? I don't know. Age-old question. It's not new. It's certainly not new. Every generation, every war, people are asking them the same thing. Was it worth it? What did we do that for? What did we die for? What did we sacrifice for? And of course, all the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marine, everybody that was dispatched to Iraq, Afghanistan, and even other places certainly did their job, and I have no reason to believe that what they did was for nothing. Everybody stepped up and did what they were asked and more. And the world's a better place for that. And even in a situation like Afghanistan, where we've been for 20 years, you would think in 20 years, even if you want to blame administrations, we've had 3 administrations in that 20 years, 4 maybe, 1, 2, 3, 4. What you'd figure, we'd get that, we'd get it figured out. And it's almost demoralizing, honestly. And I can understand how, Iraqi and Afghanistan, really global war on terror veterans must feel. They have to do their part. They've got to go, be away from families, risk their lives. Some give their lives. There's ultimate accountability in the military, and there doesn't seem to be any in politics. And so I could understand people being cynical, for sure. And we just need to reach out and make sure folks know that they are appreciated for what they did. And don't let the lack of integrity that these politicians have creep over into our own self-worth. That's just the way it is. We'll see. There's other mechanisms to deal with that, but on the ground, in the air, we have a job to do, and everybody's done it. Anyway, I'm going to run over, spend some time with Zane just down the street here at Section 11, and maybe get some more video of the cemetery and splice it all together sometime. But this is Guy here on location for Speaking of Zane here at Georgia National Cemetery in Canton, Georgia. Just an absolutely beautiful day to honor our soldiers and sailors, airmen, Marine, all the veterans that rest here.